Hey guys, Tony Vega from JapanKyo.com, Japan Station Podcast, Ichimon Japan, all that Japan stuff that I've been producing since, 2016, I guess? So it's been quite a while, and now I've got quite an interesting journey that I'm about to embark on. I will be literally walking across Japan from Kyoto to Tokyo. That is over 300 miles, over 500 kilometers, probably. It'll probably end up being quite a bit more, but yep, I'm literally going to walk across Japan from Kyoto to Tokyo this September 2023. And I'm going to be trying to do it in 30 days. I'm calling it the MAJISON Tokaido Challenge. So what the hell is MAJISON? I will tell you about that later in this little video, or if you're listening in later in the episode, I guess you would say. But MAJISON is this character I created. So there's quite a bit I can tell you about that. But basically, again, the thing that I'm doing is called the MAJISON Tokaido Challenge. Okay, so MAJISON is the character. Tokaido is the road that would connect Kyoto and Tokyo back in the day. I mean, it's still called the Tokaido, but it's changed a lot since back then. And by back then, I mean largely the Edo period. So it was the road used back when the daimyo, the lords, had to kind of go to Edo for a specific amount of time. The Tokugawa shogunate wanted to keep tabs on everybody, so they kept the rulers around Japan going back and forth from the old capital of Edo back to their own domains. And this was the most popular road used to connect these two parts of Japan. There were other ones, but Tokaido is the most well known. So again, I'm walking across Kyoto to Tokyo. I won't go the exact Tokaido road, but I will go and try to hit some of the main points, perhaps. We'll see. We'll see how it goes because I'm on a tight schedule. So I am leaving September 19th from Hawaii, where I live. And then I'm going to be arriving in Japan September 20th. And then I depart September 21st from Kyoto. And as I said, I'm going to have roughly 30 days to try to make it to my destination in Tokyo. So from Kyoto all the way to Nipponbashi in Tokyo. And I already have my flight tickets booked, including my return flight. So if I don't make it in time, I don't know. I may have to cancel my flight. I may have to. That will suck. I will have to spend more money to cancel my flight and all that. I don't want to do that. I want to make it there in time. Or I will have to give up and ride the train to Tokyo, I guess. I hope that doesn't happen. I don't want to end up like, I don't know, 50 kilometers away from my final goal and have to like ride the train. In that case, who knows? I may have to cancel. But it's going to be quite the endeavor to make it there in time in 30 days. I've seen that it can take like 20 days. And this would have to be a pretty fit person. And I'm fairly fit, but I'm certainly not a person that runs marathons. I'm not like that extreme, but I am training. I am, practicing walking and getting in those hours and steps so that I can be as fit as possible. I'm going to have to carry a backpack, and it will probably end up weighing around 15 pounds, maybe 8-9 kilograms. I'm going to have to lug that thing across Japan, from West Japan to East Japan. And it's going to be still fairly hot in the end of September and into October. It will start to cool down probably later in October. So that will be nice. Hopefully it doesn't get too cold or anything. And hopefully there's no typhoons in that season because, that will mess me up. But I'm going to be doing my best to get there in within the time limit, hopefully. So, yeah, this is a crazy thing that I came up with, and I'm going to be documenting it. Of course, in the shows that I produce in some way or another. I'll see maybe YouTube shorts and things like that. But I'm going to be, traveling on my own. And here's the extra factor that some of you may know, but maybe if you just discovered this video, you may not know. I'm legally blind. So yes, I can see some, but for the past almost 20 years, I guess it's been pretty much 20 years. I've been legally blind, so I can't see regular sized text. I can't see people's faces at normal distances. I use magnification software to use the computer and the phone, and I can't drive. I use a lot of text to speech, especially audiobooks. and I can't see street signs. So my eyesight is quite limited. I am not completely blind, but I am quite blind, I guess you would say. So that will come with its own unique set of challenges. Now, I've discussed this on my Japan Station podcast before, but Japan has been a very important place and thing and part of my life because my passion to experience Japan and learn the Japanese language really pushed me and motivated me to learn the language because I needed to in order to properly experience it by myself because I can't rely on my eyesight in many situations. I have to explain my situation about my eyesight to people in Japanese. And just for my own safety, it just helped to be able to speak Japanese. So that really pushed me to learn Japanese, to study every single day, to become fluent in the language, to be able to speak it and understand it. And for example, be able to watch anime without subtitles. Like that is something that was important to me. And this was, I'm talking like, 15 to 20 years ago. I still watch anime, but my point is that at that point in time when I was not able to experience these things anymore, I become super motivated to study Japanese. But that was after a point in my life where I kind of felt like I couldn't do a lot of things that I really enjoyed. And Japanese really motivated me. The Japanese language, Japan, anime, pop culture, friends, etc., really motivated me to push myself and be able to understand Japanese to the point where I could experience those things that I wanted to experience. So going back to the point at hand, I am legally blind. That will come with its own unique set of challenges, but I think that will make this whole experience really unique and interesting in terms of content, right? I produce content, whether it's audio content or the occasional video or social media content, whatever it is, written content. This stuff is what I do, and I want to produce interesting, compelling content. And this is part of my life. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, whether it was the 88 temple pilgrimage and Shikoku, which I decided not to do this time, or just experiencing more of Japan in a unique way. This has been something that I've been wanting to do, and I decided to do it now. So why am I doing it now exactly, though, right? Like, because this is, a pretty big endeavor, and I could have done this 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, or whatever. Why now? So there's a few things, and this will be it could get a little bit long. I will try to keep it as brief as possible. And if you're still watching here, well, thank you. I do appreciate it. If you want to support, what I do, the shows that I do, you can go over to japankyo.com/Patreon, sign up for as little as $1 a month, or you can check out the Ko-fi page. So ko-fi.com/JapanKyo. I think that's what it is. Hopefully it is. I will put that in the description. The links will be there. So you can double check there. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But one-time donation, Ko-fi, if you like what I do, you can do that. If you don't care, then hey, I don't know why you're still watching. And if you just enjoy the content but you can't contribute right now, I totally understand. JapanKyo.com/Patreon, $1 a month. If you can afford to do that, appreciate it. Anyway, let me get to the point here. So I was the editor-in-chief of a magazine here in Hawaii that was focused on Japan and Hawaii content. Loved the job, but after the pandemic started, the magazine had to stop publishing. We just were not making revenue. And then we tried a bunch of different things. And then eventually in December of 2022, that was the last month they could pay for my salary. So in January, I was not employed by them anymore. I do have some money that comes in, monthly, and I can get by on that. I do have to dip into my savings a little bit, but I've been wanting to focus more on content creation, both in English and in Japanese, and that's what I've been doing for a while now. So of course I produced the podcast Japan Station, Ichimon Japan, all over on JapanKyo.com. And so I decided to focus more on the content creation side of things. Instead of trying to find a job and do something responsible like a real adult would, I decided to do something kind of crazy. Just as I said before, I also produce Japan-focused content. Not Japan-focused content, but Japanese language content. So all my JapanKyo.com stuff is Japan-focused content in English. I've lived in Japan, worked in Japan. I have a master's degree in Japanese language and linguistics. Japan has been a part of my life for all of my adult life and most of my life. So, I love it, and that's what I do on JapanKyo.com. So here's the other aspect of what I've been doing since 2021. So I've talked about this on my content before, but in the spring of 2021, so there were these things called NFTs. So if you hate NFTs, I guess you can click off right now. You can leave the video right now. But let me tell you a little story. So I have a friend that he is a manga artist. He's a professional manga artist. He's done manga for what's that called? Phoenix Wright and Miles Edgeworth. He did the manga illustrations for those manga for the adaptations of the video games, the very popular, Phoenix Wright, games. And he's a really talented guy. He's done tons of other work too, and custom work for the magazine that I worked at. Really nice guy. I just saw him a couple months ago when I was in Japan. Yeah, I like what he does, and I really respect him, and I'm very honored to have gotten to know him. So when that whole NFT stuff was going on, I told him like, hey, I really like your art. I think you're a really talented guy. I see that people are selling their art digitally. So why don't you try doing that? I think you might get an audience. And he responded by saying like, I'll do it, but only if you assist me. And so I agreed, and I helped him get set up his stuff, and we worked on something together. And I talked about it, in my content before. But eventually he got just too busy with, he does a lot of education, online workshops, aside from, actually doing manga stuff. He gets hired to do manga related work, but I won't get to that's a whole other topic. Sorry. The point is he got too busy. He couldn't continue that. And along the way, I started exploring the Japanese NFT space. So literally like Japan creators, like people that were drawing like anime style, cute stuff, like photographers, like all kinds of people, just really, really talented Japanese creators. And I met so many wonderful, talented people that were selling their art digitally as NFTs. Just for anybody unaware, NFTs are basically a way to sell digital art. In this case, there's more to it than that, but the simple version is digital art that's basically built on the blockchain. I know, whatever. But in this case, mainly Ethereum, but there's other blockchains. And Japanese creators, really talented people, producing digital art. They were selling their stuff and continue to even now, on Ethereum, on the blockchain, as NFTs. And so I started meeting these people, just looking on Twitter and getting to know these people. And I started producing a show in Japanese because the thing is that, unfortunately, the Japanese audience is not getting a lot of content in English. There's language barriers and things. And so I wanted to help people. And, I saw a gap there, and I started producing a show in Japanese about digital art and NFTs and marketing and interviewing very talented creators. And eventually that led me to meet even more people. And I just have met so many wonderful people in Japan, just trying to support them. I've been, doing private consultations, almost all of them for free, and just helping people and educating them about social media and how to build a collection and kind of market themselves. And through that, I've met so many people. And through that, I also met an artist who's a very, very talented person. He goes by Hourai, Hourai. And we ended up working on a project together, My Idea. So that's the character, the MAJISON character. So MAJISON literally means like Maji de son. So like a person, in this case, like loses money, or it can be loses time or energies. A son is some kind of loss. And then maji comes from like majide or majime, which in a slang kind of sense means like really, like seriously. So this is a pun on Madison, the name Madison, and maji-son, which can mean like a serious loss, right? So my idea was to create this original character, like in Japanese, a yuru kyara, or like a mascot, right? Like there's so many, like Kumamon and Cheetan, there's all these mascots for different things in Japan, right? And so I wanted to create this cute mascot that kind of represents what most people that have been in the NFT market have experienced: losing money. So I wanted to create this funny little character that's a mascot character. And it's kind of the mascot character inspired by NFTs and Web3 and crypto and all this stuff, people losing money. But the thing is, the character is also for any kind of son, any kind of loss. So let's say you go to a shop and it was closed that day and you had to walk like 2 hours for whatever reason. That was a total waste of time. That's a MAJISON. I don't know. You you end up marrying somebody, and then the second that they get married, they totally change, and you realize like I hate this person. Yeah, that was a whole MAJISON, like, of your time leading up to getting married to this person and all that. So there's all kinds of MAJISON, but the original kind of seed for the idea of this character was the idea of losing money in Web3, in NFTs and all this stuff, right? There's a lot of scams and horrible stuff that happens. Totally agree. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm very realistic about this, but I just think that a lot of fun stuff can be done here. And I happened to meet a very, very talented Japanese artist, and we worked together on this. So, we sold a collection of GIFs, whatever you want to call them. And it's this character making crazy reactions and all this stuff. It's called MAJISON. You can find it if you're into NFTs. I'll include the link in case you care. But the point is not to sell you the NFT. Like, I mean, if you want to, that's up to you. I don't get any like royalties or creator fee or anything. It's 0%. So even if you buy anything, it doesn't directly like financially benefit me. Like, of course, I'm happy and people are happy that it's sold. That's great. It's selling for super cheap. So, either way, the money doesn't come my way. But the point is that I was able to create this and sell out a collection of, well, it's 2,333, but we only sold 1,850 and we gave away a lot for free. And we sold them for like $5-6 or something like that, the equivalent of that. So super cheap. But people are saying NFTs are dead, they're dead. The market is really bad right now, but we were able to sell it because we had a strong community of people that I've met over the past, like, I don't know, since November of 2021 or even longer, since I've been like helping people in Japan. I've met so many people and they've been so wonderful. And most of them are in Japan, but some people outside of Japan too. And they really, really supported the project. And they just wanted to support what I was doing and what the project is. And by selling out, this became CC0. So what that means is that the character is free for anybody to use. So the copyright is out the window. If you want to use this character, you can use it. And we just wanted to create a character that was free for everybody. This fun, cute, well-designed character. In my opinion, you're free to a different opinion. It's this funny little silly character. And now it's up to, me and everybody else that wants to play with this character to do stuff with it and to kind of grow it. And so that's something I've been doing. I was able to raise some funds, but I paid the artist very well I'll put it this way. We didn't make a lot of money. You can kind of figure out the calculations. We made, we did not make a lot of money, but I was able to pay the artist well, and another person that helped me. And we have a little bit in the treasury, a few $1,000s to, do more stuff with this and to maybe do stuff that I can maybe help more Japanese artists. And long term, that's what I want to do. But made a little bit of money, but in terms of the amount of time and effort that we put into it, we totally lost money. I would not be able to live off of this by any means. This is not a profitable endeavor, but it was a passion project of mine. And the point is here that we did this. We sold it out, and this happened right at the beginning of August, and it was a super stressful but exciting and very happy moment in my life. So again, if you're not into NFTs, sorry, this story is stupid and horrible to you. I'm not trying to sell you on NFTs. I'm just telling you one of the things that I've been doing and why my time has been occupied quite a bit lately. But the point is that I'm doing stuff with Japanese creators and really, really talented people. And I've developed this close relationship with Horai, the artist that helped me with this project. He was the artist. I did the concept sketch, but but he turned it into, a much more polished, design, something that looks professional and really, really good because he's just a really talented artist. And I wanted to pay him well and compensate him for his time. And thankfully, we were able to sell it out, and I did that. Now, what happens now is we're going to be doing stuff with this character and doing giveaways and different things and producing more art at some point, and et cetera, et cetera. But what I wanted to do was create this. I don't want to just only stick to the online digital NFT space. I want to do stuff in the real world because that's where I kind of come from. I kind of came from this sort of journalistic background, going out and interviewing people, doing stuff in the real world. And what I wanted to do was use this character in this Tokaido challenge that I began the video with. So, I ordered a stuffed animal and of a plush of Majison, and I'm going to be carrying this along the way. And I have some custom kind of shirts and stuff that I may use. The idea is to just go out in the world and do something fun, do some interesting content, raise awareness of me as a content creator, what I do, visual impairment, right? What people with visual impairments are capable of, and also raise awareness of this character that I think has wider appeal. Again, you don't have to buy an NFT to do anything with this character. If you like it, you can play with it. You can commercialize it on your own completely. Like, it's completely, the copyright is out the window. So you can use the art, you can produce your own original art with the thing. If you think that's stupid, that's okay. Totally your opinion, but that's how we're doing the project. So, part of what I'm doing here with the Tokaido Challenge is producing content for the Japanese side of my social media presence and my content creation presence. I've been able to get almost 8,000 followers on Twitter or X, whatever it is, and most of the individuals that are following me are Japanese people interested in the NFT space. And, I have a pretty decent following there, and I'm trying to grow my following on the English language side as well with JapanKyo.com and the podcasts and videos that I produce. So I thought this was a wonderful mix of both sides where I can produce content that will appeal to both sides. And hopefully my ultimate goal is to grow as a content creator to the point where I can produce something that's sustainable, right? Because I can't make a living off of what I'm doing now. I'm losing money, but I would like to be able to do that. But the point is that I need to do something a little different, get some attention, produce interesting content that will engage people. And that's what I'm trying to do with the Tokaido Challenge. So, if that means anything to you, if you've enjoyed my content in the past, then, maybe subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can find my personal Twitter X account at the Vega Tony, but there's a lot of NFT content. Most of it is NFT content. Most of it is in Japanese. So not shilling or anything. It's more about, education and analysis and understanding the market, but it's geared at the Japanese audience. But if you want to find out more about this character, then you can find it at Majison Chan, MAJISON. CHAIN. No, that's Chain. So MAJISONCHAN, Majison Chan, on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I do have a Discord. The link is there as well. So if you're curious about that, you can find that. But by no means, again, the point is not to sell you an NFT. The point is to create content and to try to grow so that I can actually earn a living from the stuff that I do on JapanKyo.com and the Japanese language stuff that I do. And again, if you do want to just support what I'm doing and this endeavor, this Tokaido Challenge costs a lot of money. The plane ticket was almost $1,000. Lodging along the way, staying from Kyoto to Tokyo 30 nights, that's going to be quite a bit of money too. And thankfully, I do have a sponsor. And that's the Hawaii Association of the Blind. So I'm a member of the Hawaii Association of the Blind. I've been a member for almost 10 years. They've been an incredible support for me, scholarships, and just a good community of people that are doing a lot of wonderful work to support the blind and visually impaired in Hawaii and by extension around the world. Because, if you raise awareness even in Hawaii or whatever, like me, I'm based in Hawaii, but I'm going to be going to Japan to do stuff over there. I think that positively impacts people with visual impairments around the world. So they were kind enough to sponsor me with $5,000, and that will cover probably my on-the-ground expenses. But of course, there's gear, and I really do need a new computer, but I will figure something out. If I have to spend my own money, I will do that. But that the $5,000 probably will not cover that. But I need proper clothes, with SPF protection and, stuff, that will protect me along the way, 30 days, like literally morning to evening, probably walking across Japan in the heat. I need to be dressed well and need to stay at places where I can actually sleep in a bed, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of expenses that will go into this. Thankfully, the majority of the expenses are covered by the sponsor, Hawaii Association of the Blind. I really, really do appreciate that. Again, incredible help and just couldn't be more grateful for that. if you do want to help me, pay for the extra bit, the plane ticket I paid on my own, and any extra equipment like the computer stuff, which I will have to figure out something, again, you can go to the Ko-fi page, ko-fi.com. I think JapanKyo, again, check the description, and Patreon as well, patreon.com/JapanKyo or japankyo.com/Patreon. You can become a monthly member as well. I produce the podcasts, one a month for each, and I'm experimenting with video now. So if you're interested in that, you can subscribe to the YouTube as well, which you may be watching, right now. So hit the subscribe button. I do appreciate it. And also just getting the word out about this. If you can't support financially, but you do like what I'm doing and you want to help in some way, subscribing, liking, commenting, all that stuff does help, but also spreading the word. I am trying to get attention for this. And again, it's the long-term vision here for me is to grow as a content creator so I can do stuff that will actually earn me a living, hopefully. And this is a crazy, crazy experiment. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I'll see what I do. But, this is one thing that I'm experimenting with. And on the crazy, stupid NFT side of things, sorry. Again, I know some of you probably don't like that. But I think that, there's just so many wonderful, talented Japanese creators that are trying to earn a living. For example, the artist that I work with, Horai, he has 3 daughters. He has to support them. He has to support his wife and his family, and he's incredibly busy. He's such a hardworking guy. He's such a good guy. I loved getting to know him, and I want to support him. And this is one way for him to do that, right? The yen right now is horrible in Japan, but he can earn, some decent money from this, and I want to help him do that. It's not easy. It's not easy by any means, but I want to help him do that, and I want to help other Japanese creators actually, build their careers and earn a living, at least in part from this digital art world. And in the process, I get to create these funny, silly things like this character, again, that's inspired by people losing money. So, I have all these crazy ideas that I'm working on, and I'm trying to build into something, and I want to do it with Japanese creators. So that's the other aspect of what I'm doing. This is all a crazy, crazy endeavor, but again, you can, in whatever you can do to support, if you want to do that, I would be greatly, greatly appreciative. You can find all the stuff that I do in English over at japankyo.com. All the podcasts, all the stuff is there. And you can, again, links in the show notes. So again, MAJISON Tokaido challenge. That's what I'm doing. Literally walking from Kyoto to Tokyo. I'm legally blind, so I'm going to be getting lost along the way, and I will be using Google Maps and hopefully not too lost, but it's going to be quite the challenge, and I will be documenting it, and hopefully it turns out to be interesting content for you guys, but also for the Japanese side of things. I'll be doing kind of bilingual content, and then, of course, I'll be talking about my experiences when I come back. It's going to be quite the experience. I hope you at least find it interesting, or if you want to support, again, you know what to do. So don't want to be too pushy about that, but I feel like I've already repeated myself like 2 or 3 times. Sorry about that. But again, links in the show notes for the social media accounts and all that. But if you made it this far, I really do appreciate it. I know it was a long one, and this cell phone style, hopefully it wasn't like nauseating. I'm experimenting with video. Hopefully it was interesting to you. But thank you sincerely from the bottom of my heart for listening all the way till the end or watching. And I'll be posting up more content on the YouTube channel and the podcast stuff very soon. Hope you enjoy that stuff. Hope you check it out. And once the Tokaido challenge gets started, then there will be, tons of short videos and things like that probably. So yeah, it's going to be quite the experience and the kind of thing that will certainly be quite a, I guess you could say, a life-changing experience. I'm pretty sure that's a fair thing to say. I don't think that's an over-exaggeration, but it'll certainly be interesting, and I'll be eager to share my experiences with you guys once that all gets started in September. Again, September 21st is when it gets started in Kyoto. So thanks for listening. I'll be back soon.